quick run down the list, I promise you, because I'm running out of time. And this is my fourth take. The first time it took me over 38 minutes to try to get everything in I wanted to tell you, and I just could have kept going and going and going. But anyway, listen, I want to get one theme across to you, and that is that Talk About Martin is known as being a watchdog organization. And what do you do when a watchdog barks? Some of you open your window and you yell at it to shut up! Quiet! Enough! I've heard enough! And we get that. We get that. You know, it's overwhelming sometimes when the dog keeps barking. Eventually, hopefully, somebody will go over to the dog and say, "What are you barking at?" Watchdogs bark for a reason. Dogs that bark all the time, yeah, they don't get as much attention. We've had a 2-year break. We've been, phew, man, we've been taking it easy. Now it's time to get serious again. And we're barking. And on the 21st, you can come out and find out why. Let me give you an update as to what's gone on this week. And thank you for being here, by the way. And thank you for the effort from those that are working um, with other people in a coordinated, non-coordinated way. I mean, we're coordinated because we're together on common purpose. We're going we're marching shoulder to shoulder and side by side and one behind the other as one is out front and gets tired and falls back, the other will take the lead. And we're educating ourselves, and we're willing to stand with one another. And if you want to call that an organized effort, okay, call it an organized effort, whatever you want. But there are a group of us on the 21st that are coming to talk to you, talk about Martin. We're going to talk a little about St. Lucie too, I hope, because this affects St. Lucie. It also affects, Palm Beach County. Uh, we're bringing the goods, we're bringing the receipts, and we're going to talk about the hyperscale data centers and why they are not a fit here in our community. A lot to follow. I'm not going to spend a lot of time or much time tearing apart, all of the TMZ kind of, as Robin Cavanaugh likes to say, theatrics of the goings ons because, man, I'll tell you what, if you're not keeping the characters straight and the script up to date, you are going to find yourself lost. So let's get an update together, and remember, the watchdog's barking. Just all I'm asking, and we are asking for, is just a little respect from us. That you got watchdogs out there for a reason. Listen to them when they bark. Okay, you can tell them to shut up after you've looked and you don't see anything, and a good watchdog will do that and say, "You know what? Do you want me to still bite him when he comes over here?" All right, enough said. You get that. All right, let's do a rundown. Yeah, let's do a rundown. Uh, and start with the thought that it is Sunday and we want to thank our Creator for all of the opportunities that are provided for us. We want to thank our Creator for the possibilities that exist. And we want to thank our Creator for the obstacles that are put in our way because they bring us to a greater resolve. And that's sort of what I'm talking about. We're a group of people that have one path that we walk. We may walk in different directions, but our paths always are focused on the same. Dear Lord, thank you, and bless this discussion. Amen. All right, here we go. Here are today's updates. 606 compared to known comparable hyperdense data centers that are already operational and having health effects. All right, one more time. 606, which is Silver Fox, the data center, Project 606, compared, all right, we're taking a look at known, existing, comparable, not 250,000 square foot data centers in the middle of Miami, hyper data centers, hyperscale data centers that are not even in our municipal code, that are already operational, okay, meaning they already exist and have for quite some time, and they are having health effects on people and animals. All right, one more time. 606 compared to known comparable hyper data centers that are already operational and having health effects. You can read it on your own, or you can just take the headline, or you can take my word. And if you do that, come on, man, read. Look at the information for yourself. We've given you the sources that we looked at, and after a while, it becomes condensed, and there is a lot of information, but never listen to one person and just take their word for it. Come on. Where you at? Come on, man. All right, second one in the list for March 14th, 2026. We're only doing this week, so there's only a few, right? There is more support that we have found from the Florida Springs Institute, and one of our TAM contributors, talkaboutmartin.com contributors, that is behind the scenes and works there in a very effective manner, incognito, as not to attract the attention. That's sort of what the watchdog does. You might say she's one of the watchdog's handlers in a sense. And she has been doing a lot of her own research and found some people that are also concerned about this. She reached out to an individual that was in a recent TV expose, report, whatever they call them these days, about the announcement of the application for development of Silver Fox 606. And they went to interview some people that I guess the mainstream media thought had credentials, and I would have to agree with them. She reached out to the Florida Springs Institute, and Haley Moody, who is the director of the Florida Springs Institute, was kind enough to discuss with her and I and look at our information, and see if there was some kind of a cooperation we could find with the Institute in giving some resolve to the scientific foundations of the risks of having Silver Fox 606 go where it is. Okay? We're not just running our mouth, we're actually doing some work, and we're talking to people that the same reporters from the mainstream media are talking to. Okay? I'm going to read this real quick because I'm running out of time. I tell you what, I'm going to send you there, but here, the closing paragraph on this says, "This is simply not the right location for this type of land use. We ask that you reconsider this location for your data center operations to protect the water supply, the protected species, the ultimate infrastructure of your own building and property." Okay? Moving up one, additionally, wetlands that exist would be impacted. Water withdrawals, need to operate large-scale data center. Protected species have been cited. Okay, they agree with us on all of that. Intensive groundwater withdrawals. This is interesting. Intensive groundwater withdrawals can cause aquifer levels below us to drop and sinkholes to form as the land above the aquifer drops right along with it. Oh, come on, we've never had those here. Sinkholes can form both in times of intense rainfall and during times of drought. Where are we? Indiantown experienced this in 2017 when a sinkhole swallowed the entrance of Indianwood Golf and Country Club in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. So big events like that can cause sinkholes to form. I get it. Look, you can read the rest of the letter for yourself if you want to. If not, okay. Not a problem. I get it. Let's move on to the next one real quick. Oh, wildlife considerations. Here's one. this this one here. I'm going to tell you, this one is so cited, and when I say cited, this is in the Royal Society Publishing Journal of. God, is this meta? Here we go. We'd have to go back. Here's the citing. Let's look at the citing on this. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, I'm losing it. Where's the technology? Anyway, this one, when I read this one, I had to read the first introductory paragraph at least twice to begin to think that I had an understanding of what I was going to read moving forward. It was amazing in its depth. And the references that are put in this thing are unmistakable, undeniable, and done by people that have a better linguistic ability, a better ability to understand this, and a better sense about them than any of us do. And they're telling us that this will affect those that are at least able to speak, and that is the wildlife and our pets. All right, I'm moving on. You can read that one. The title is Wildlife Considerations. The next article is here's an expanded reason why we don't support the project. Now, this one really gets interesting. It gets into the opposition of the proposal's significant gaps, the procedural deficiencies, and the inconsistency with Indiantown's comprehensive plan and land development regulations. And it actually, we wrote another letter to them even after our report to the elected. And there is even more in-depth information that we found since the meeting on on last Thursday. We're doing our work, are they? Here's the sound science for the naysayers, skeptics, and believers alike. That's the next title. Also put out on the 14th. It was a busy day. The expanded discussion on that: the Village of Indiantown's approved code falls short in protecting the public from data center noise impacts. Blah blah blah. And again, this is not a 250,000 square foot data center in the middle of Miami, nor is it Bluestream. Those are data centers, and they probably would fall within the requirements of the zoning for a less than 500,000 square foot facility slash data center, but $2.2 million dollars. Whoo, there's money. 2.2 million square feet does not belong on the less than side of 500,000. Okay, so boom, there's more evidence there. March the 10th. Here's what's happening in the rest of the world. It's an update video from an outside source that is reliable. Take a look and see what the rest of the world is experiencing. March the 10th. Here's an economist's take on the discussion. We disagree with his employment numbers. They seem a bit exaggerated, and I think the applicant has said himself that it's only 400 employees for this project, but it does emphasize the regional impact that something like this has. It opens it up, which is where we got into the next article, which was I was curious, so I went looking. What is a development of regional impact? Turns out that the development of regional impact in Florida has gone through some review processes, et cetera, and now is just statutorily preemptive. It doesn't necessarily have to go through a formal review process until there are triggers that kick it in, and the way it's reviewed is now different too. But it does explain in the Economist discussion on the article prior how these two fit together and what happens when something like this is triggered. It opens a state level window for all of us to be able to speak. So when we come together as a group on the 21st, the videos and pictures and our behavior and our words and our concerns are going to speak volumes if we have to take this further than where it needs to go. We really want a moratorium. That's what we're asking for, and we're trying to put evidence forward that says there's enough reason scientifically, empirically based, and clinically, medically based to warrant a timeout for the health, safety, and welfare of the people. All right, next one down. There's a new town hall appearance to announce. We were told that, well, okay. We're trying to get Jamin to talk to us a little about the views from St. Lucie. Now, Jamin is a co-host. I'm not sure if he's the co-host, the host. I tell you what, it's a new podcast. You can find it at Sunland. You check it out. You'll find out more about Jamin. You'll find out more about Robin Kavanaugh. The two of these together are like just you're 30 minutes in and you think you're 5 minutes in. They do a great job of giving you information in a short period of time, which is something I lack at and I need to get better. There is more information up here. I want you to go up there. Oh, and the report to the elected. We did hand out the report to the elected, which was last week's information, but we delivered them to the elected this week. I could go on and on and on about that. We'll talk more about it later. Anyway, I want to wish you all a happy Sunday. I wanted to give you the good news that we are gaining support. We have one other nationally recognized group that is hopefully going to be lending their cooperation towards what we're doing. They are a very large, very reputable, very solid organization that is a group of attorneys that do nothing but work for environmental concerns and overreach by the government in approval of projects, not only data centers, but other industrial overreach and oversight for the purpose of greed and the few over the people. And it is funded and it has. We've already had discussions with them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with telling you that. And we're hoping that through our discussions, it will lend us a greater relationship with this organization. And we're to say, well, I'm hoping to be able to work in cooperation with them. Their guidance with the time that they spent with us over the past couple of days in discussion, in leadership, in discovery and expansion on ideas were very relevant and uh, put even more fire in our bellies because they were confirmed that what we have been telling you is exactly right. The statutory evidence that we've been putting forward has now been confirmed, and I'm hoping to be able to announce the name of this organization, and they have agreed not to let us swamp them with work and requests, but to work with them in a cooperative way that if they they can watch what we're doing and help us expand. We'll do the work on our end. And we're grateful for what they've done this week, too. We're grateful for all of you. We're looking forward to the 21st. I promise to keep it short. You guys that know me well. This is short. So, no mo saying, enough said. Enough said. See you on the 21st. No mo out.